So we usually we had the morning program till now. This is the continuation of the morning program. So we'll have the Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is going to be on Chaitanya Charitamrita today, and then at this goes from 8 to 9:30, and 9:30. Yeah, usually we have Kaishara class, but today that's missing. That's a 15-minute talk. Otherwise, we'll end at 9:30, and there will be prasadam served at 9:45, I believe. So we'll start with Jayarada Madhava, and then we can go on. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, 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 Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jaya Giri Varadhari, Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jaya Giri Varadhari, Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jaya Giri Varadhari, Jaya Labha, Jaya Giri Varadhari, Jaya Yashodhanandana, Jaya Vajanaranjana, Jaya Vajanaranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Kunja Bihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Yamuna Tiravanachari, Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Again, thank you all for joining us. Maybe we'll start with Mangala Charan if there's a. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all once again for joining here for this morning's session. This is ISKCON of Silicon Valley Saturday morning program. So very happy to have all of you here today. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow is going to be Sri Gaur Purnima. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. So there has been a series of lectures in that regard going on. Last weekend, His Grace Shyam Jagannath Prabhu nicely covered the introduction to, kind of the overview summary of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He went on what is present in Adi Leela, what is present in Madhya Leela, what is present in Ante Leela, covered all of those chapters and introduced a little more about Gaur Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And almost ended at, that's where it ended. And he also mentioned that when we start off Krishna consciousness, usually we start reading Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita, where it ends, Srimad Bhagavatam begins. And Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, where it kind of concludes, that's where Chaitanya Charitamrita begins. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is where it is concluding. And that is where we will spend some time today. The last chapter of Ante Leela, this is the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita book. Written by Srila Prabhupada. The last chapter of Ante Leela is called Sri Siksastakam. These are Shiksha Ashtakam. Shiksha is instructions and Ashtakam is 8 verses. So these 8 verses, this was the last chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. These are the 8 verses presented by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is his only direct instructions written down, which he composed these verses. These are the only 8 compositions that is there, and we will try to spend some time trying to understand these verses. As I understand, of course, we cannot go so much deep into Chaitanya Charitamrita or to these verses, but as much as I understand and as much as I have tried to put in my practice, we'll try to share and we'll try to bring together some good points which we can apply in our life. Great. So, let's begin there. I think, yes, that's good. Let me check. Perfect. That works. So these are the sublime instructions given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What I was told or what I've heard from acharyas and in the different teachers is that we might not be able to read all the scriptures. We might not be able to, or we may be able to read all the scriptures and we kind of memorize and recite different scriptures. Even if we cannot memorize and recite all the scriptures, but if we can focus and understand these 8 verses by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's pretty much the entire gamut of bhakti process is given within these 8 verses. So that is the power of these verses. It goes from the initial stages of bhakti till the culmination of bhakti. So start from the sadhana level and it will take us to the prema level. So complete ladder of bhakti is presented via these simple 8 verses that is given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So those are those verses that we will try to chant. So maybe first let's see if we can go through these verses and then we'll try to get into the deeper meaning of these. In almost every ISKCON temple, most of the temples, every day in the morning, these 8 verses are chanted before the japa begins. This is just to reiterate on how important these verses are and how important, if we can understand them and if we can apply them in our lives, really bhakti can take off like anything. So that's why it's chanted every day in almost every temple. So we'll try to go through these verses. Is everyone aware of Siksastakam or is it new to folks? Yes or no? No. Okay. Few. Yes. So we will try to, even I am not a great reciter of Vedic verses, but these verses are tremendous, very beautiful, like very nice sounding, and when you start reciting them, automatically it gets into your rhythm, and it gets into the bodily rhythm, and it just becomes one with you. So it's kind of very nice. So we'll try to go through these verses. I'll probably chant one line at a time, and then you can repeat. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam. Cheto darpanam adavagni nirvapanam. Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam. Anandambudivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. Dambudivardhanam purnamrita swadanam. Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam. Vijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam. I am trying to move it to the next verse. No. Thank you. Thank you. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktihi. Nam namakari shakti. Tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kalaha. Niyamita smaranena kalaha. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapihi. Shri tava kripa. Durdhaivamidrishamiha janinanuragaha. Next verse. Yes, I'll try. It's good. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhaktirahaitu ki tvai ainandatanuja kinkaram patitamam vishame bhavam budho kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya nayanam galadashrudaraya vadanam gadgadarudaya gira pulakairnichitam vapu kada tava nama grahane bhavishyati yugaitam nimeshena Chakshusha pravrishayitam Shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahe name Ashlishya va padaratam pinastu mam Adarshanan marmahatam karotu va Yata tata va vidadatu lampato Mat prananatastu saevana paraha Mat prananatastu saevana paraha Shri Chaitanya Siksastakam ki. So these are the beautiful 8 verses composed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Are folks familiar with who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? I know a few folks are familiar, but you are familiar, Roji? Okay. Sure, absolutely. We'll be happy to. Actually, that's what. So we want to introduce and we want to know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because his appearance is coming just 2 days. But the important reason why we want to bring out him, he's the most munificent avatar. Like this is, so we have Radha and Krishna together. But when Radha and Krishna together, they combine. So Krishna, he is so much attracted to the gopis' love and devotion to him that in Vrindavan, like when Krishna was in Vrindavan, in the night when he used to play his flute, all the gopis from all over Vrindavan, like young gopis, older gopis, everyone, they used to just leave everything, their children, their houses, their husbands, everything. They leave and come and just want to be with Krishna. So at this point of time, when they come and ask Krishna, I just want to be with you. The Krishna says, no, you have your own family, everyone there. Why are you? Just go back. But then they kind of say that, no, we just don't want anything else. We just want to be with you. So at that point, Krishna feels and he says that this love that you have for me, I can in no way give anything back to you in return for this love. It's just amazing. But then he says that I want to also feel this love that you have for me. Like I have no idea why do you love me so much. So for getting that own feeling, Krishna, he comes in the form of Radharani, in the complexion of Radharani, in the mood of Radharani, to experience in 2 things: to experience the love that the gopis and the Vrajavasis and Radharani has for Krishna, and to also show in person as to how a devotee has to live their lives so that in loving devotion to Krishna. So he's come not only to experience the gopis' love, but he's also come to give us a glimpse as to how we can engage our lives in Krishna's service and how we can really love and look for Krishna and engage it in Krishna's service. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is none other than Krishna himself coming in the form of the golden complexion, in Radharani's complexion. He comes, and this happened just about 540 years ago. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the area of Bengal, West Bengal. Especially, it's called Navadvip Dham. That is, there are like 9 islands which are separated by the Ganges is flowing, and there are tributaries of Ganges that kind of forms around 9 islands. And one of the islands, which is Antardvip, where did Mahaprabhu was? I think Antardvip, right? Thank you. So that's where Mahaprabhu appeared. It's called, the entire area is called Navadvip. So this is still there, Navadvip, and all the 9 islands are still there in West Bengal. And it's prime. So he appeared there, and then he did all his pastimes. He spent only about 48 years in this material world. And of the 48 years, first 24 years was his initial, just his brahmachari and his grihastha life, where he was in Navadvip Dham. And then after, at the age of very ripe age of 24 years, he took sannyas, and then he traveled for about 6 years all across, South India, and he started preaching the holy name. That's when this whole Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he just made everything available. That's what they say, that he broke open the storehouse of Krishna Prema and started distributing it all across India. And then he came back and he resided in Jagannath Puri for almost another 18 years. And around age of 48, he left back from this world. Of course, that's again one thing that all of the avatars, they establish that this material world is not a place to be. Like if you see, Ramachandra comes and he goes back. Krishna comes and he disappears. Mahaprabhu came and he goes back. So they all confirm that this material place is not a place to be. This is a place, we come here, we have to learn, or we have to achieve the purpose of our lives, and then we want to go back to the spiritual world where we are eternally existing, where we can happily live with Krishna all the time. So that's also why they, that's one of the things that they kind of bring out with the aspect of their disappearance. But then, so coming back to Mahaprabhu, so around 48 years he disappeared. But before that, when he was in Jagannath Puri, during the last 18 years, which is what is covered in the Antya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita book. So there he recited, basically in his ecstasies of Radha and Krishna, he recited different verses. And those verses were compiled by his disciples, like Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. So Rupa Goswami compiled all of his verses into a set of poems called the Padyavali. And he put all of that into the Padyavali and nicely line them up in a particular order. And then afterwards, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he was writing this book, at the chapter 20 of this book, which is the last chapter, which is called Siksastakam, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gleaned these 8 verses from Padyavali and put it into Siksastakam. And that's when actually Siksastakam came together as one set of 8 verses. And these 8 verses start from the, as I mentioned before, from the lowest, like from the Shraddha stage till almost Prema. It just takes us through all of these things. Different ways we can see Sri Chaitanya Siksastakam. One aspect is, so there is something called as, in the stages of bhakti, when we are initially introduced to bhakti, and we want to start practicing bhakti, it's called the sadhana bhakti. That's when we are trying to practice devotional service. The practice, and then, practice makes a man perfect. So throughout our life, almost we start practicing sadhana bhakti. And then after sadhana bhakti comes bhava bhakti, and after bhava bhakti comes prema bhakti. So bhava bhakti and prema bhakti are usually combined together in the form of sadhya bhakti. So there is sadhana bhakti, which is our effort, and sadhya bhakti, which is finally where we want to get to. Of course, all the details of sadhana and sadhya bhakti has been given in Nectar of Devotion. We will not go into that. But just Sri Chaitanya Siksastakam, why we are bringing these aspects of sadhana bhakti and sadhya bhakti is that these 8 verses, they lead us through these stages, through sadhana bhakti and sadhya bhakti. I believe we have, okay, this is a beautiful verse from Chaitanya Siksastakam. I think we'll come back to this verse. But this is the thing. So the stages of pure devotional service. So we have sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. So these are all covered in these 8 verses of Sri Siksastakam. So that's why this Siksastakam is very, very, just encompassing complete bhakti. It just 8 verses. Everything that we need for our Krishna consciousness is encompassed in here. Okay. Another way of looking at Sri Chaitanya Siksastakam is through these process of Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. Can you guys have mics? Thank you. Okay, thank you. So just a quick question. So anyone can talk to us a little bit about Sambandha, Abhideya or Prayojana if you know about it. Please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, as you explained in the morning, Sambandha means to know who we are, who is Krishna, to know more about our relationship with Him. That is Sambandha Gyan.
Correct. Great. Thank you. Sambandha Gyan is perfect. As you said, who are we? Who is Krishna? What is our connection to Krishna? This kind of establishes some knowledge. When we have knowledge about, so generally, like for example, I'm meeting you for the first time, Prabhuji. Your good name? Ashish. So I just know you. So I have some relation. But when I start to, when you start coming more, or when I start coming more, I will interact with you more and more, and we will develop some friendship. Then I know more about you. Then I know next time when I say Ashish, a lot more things come to my head about Ashish. Similarly, and then, of course, then you have your parents, and then they call you Ashish, that's with even more love. So that's what the Sambandha Gyan is about. When we initially start talking about Krishna, it's just Krishna and Rama. But then when we start knowing who is Krishna, and start getting to know, why is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Why is he great? Why is he in Vrindavan? Things like that. Then we start loving more and more. So that's basically Sambandha Gyan. And the regular process, which most devotees, we tend to follow for establishing Sambandha Gyan is reading the scriptures. I mean, you can read Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, or listen to the Acharyas. And the other one simple way which most devotees here follow, I'm kind of off and on, but most devotees do the chant, which is chapter a day, where they read one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. So they kind of take up one chapter and read that same chapter every day for a month, and then the next month, the next chapter, then the next month, the next chapter. And Krishna is in the Bhagavad Gita, for example, he has explained all the different karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. And so when we are reading these chapters, slowly by slowly, but for sure, we start to understand who is Krishna. We start to establish our sambandha, our relationship with Krishna. And that takes us towards abhideya, which is basically establishing a process by which we connect to Krishna. And the abhideya process is, one of the processes we did this morning is chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The other process is deity worship. The other process is cooking for Krishna, making flower garlands for Krishna. All of these devotionals and book distribution, all of these are different processes we engage in trying to make our connection with Krishna stronger. And once that happens, finally what we get to is prayojana, which is the ultimate fruit of devotional service, which is basically Krishna Prema. You start loving Krishna just as Mother Yashoda does. Like, she doesn't have to, I'm not too sure, but I don't want to speculate, but I'm not too sure if she's, if she's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. But her chanting of Krishna is every day, every moment she's completely in Krishna consciousness. That's the state we want to reach with this, like going through Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. And what Sri Siksastakam is there, Sri Siksastakam, all those 8 verses, they take us through these different levels, Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. So that's why we kind of discussed about this. Okay, I am not too sure. Is it a little bit clear? We'll try to. So this is just gives a introductory high bird's eye view of how these 8 verses are structured. Of these 8, first 5 verses, they talk mostly about Sambandha Gyan, and which is sadhana bhakti. And then the last 3 verses is talks about bhava bhakti and prema bhakti. That's the thing, I think. And then of course, all of the verses basically are go through Abhideya process. Like, the process is involved in all the process, in all the verses. But the top 5 verses will talk about mostly Sambandha Gyan, and then the last 3 is about Prayojana. So that's what we will try to go through in today's session. And maybe can you probably someone read the subject for each of those verses, please? So before we enter, we can go through that.
Is the subject called?
Yes, please. Verse number 1 and subject.
So verse 1, the subject is teaches congregational chanting of the holy names. For verse 2, how can one realize one's ineptitude to take up this chanting? Verse 3, procedure of chanting the holy name. Verse 4, how to rid oneself of deception and detrimental material desires. Verse 5, the soul's original spiritual identity. Verse 6, how one experiences the good fortune of coming closer to the Lord. Verse 7, mood of separation after one obtains the required spiritual elevation. Verse 8, how to obtain the highest perfection in the matter of finding one's absolute necessity of goal.
Great, thank you. So as you see, all of these verses take us like from the bottommost level in Krishna consciousness or in bhakti process till the topmost level. If we can perfect, or if we can internalize these 8 verses, really our bhakti can take off like anything. So that's the beauty of Siksastakam. So that's what we will try to understand. And when we understand these verses a bit more, then we can see how it will help us in our chanting and in our daily processes. Okay, so let's go forward. Great. Okay, we'll one more time read through this particular verse and its meaning now, and then we can kind of dive into some more details about this verse. So this is verse number 1. We can do together the verse. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadhu jivanam anandambudhivartanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Could someone read? Ashish, would you mind read the... Thank you. It should be green. It should be green.
Hello. Yeah. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Great, thank you. So if you can see, there are this verse can be understood in in 8 parts. First, let's just talk about the last part, which is Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So this is all victories or all glories to Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. We'll try to understand what does that mean. But Shri Krishna Sankirtanam has 7 glories. Those 7 glories are brought out in this particular verse, where Cheto Darpana Marjanam is 1, Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam is 2, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, that's 3, that's the 3rd glory, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam, that's the 4th one, Anandambudhi Vardhanam, 5th, Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam, 6th, Sarvatma Snapanam, 7. So 7 glories of the Shri Krishna Sankirtana movement, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam has been brought forward. 7 glories are come up by Shri Krishna Sankirtan, and by following this, all of this slowly come into our hearts itself. So it's yes. So Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This means all victory, all glories, Sankirtan should be ever victorious. Now, we probably should try to get a little bit more deeper as to what is Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Can can you all devotees please, anyone, you can say whatever you think is Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, so we can have a little dialogue. Mantri, you want to give it a shot?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is like a chanting of the Mahamantra in the congregation or with the devotees. So when we chant alone, I think it's japa, like we do it alone. When we do it with the association of devotees,
Right.
So that is like a Sankirtan. So
Yes.
that's the understanding.
Great, thank you. So Sankirtanam, as you said, is doing congregational chanting of the holy name together with everyone. Perfect. Great. Thank you. Anything more? Anybody would like to add more onto it on Sri Krishna Sankirtanam? Would you, from your book distribution, you can?
Yeah, another way to glorify Krishna is to distribute books. So we go out and share this with others, so they also get the opportunity to hear about him.
Correct. Great. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam also includes distribution of the literature, distribution of Krishna's books, because Sankirtanam, Kirti, Sankirtanam, the main part is Kirti, glories. So Kirtanam is you want to glorify the Lord, glorify the Supreme Lord. Sankirtanam is, together we want to glorify the Supreme Lord. One way is through Nama Sankirtan, which is what Mathaji mentioned, and the other way is through books. That's basically bringing out the aspect of, there are 4 different Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. All of these 4 aspects of Krishna. Nama is name, Guna is his qualities, Rupa is his form, and Leela is his pastimes. All of that, in glorifying all of those aspects, comes together as Sankirtanam, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So when we say it's, and Sankirtanam, another way of understanding Sankirtanam is something like Purnam, if you see in Sanskrit, is complete. But when you say Sampurnam, it means completely complete. Similarly, Sankirtanam is like, it's like the complete aspect of glorifying Krishna. So there are 2 things in there. One is the quantitative aspect, the other is qualitative aspect. Quantitatively, we want to give our full best towards serving Krishna, towards glorifying Krishna. Qualitatively, what we want to do is through our body, mind and words, we want to engage in glorifying Krishna. So when we do that, all of that aspect is called Sankirtanam. By engaging our body, mind, words, everything in serving, in glorifying Krishna. So Sankirtanam encompasses all of these things. So Nama Sankirtanam is one, but that's not the only one. We along with that, all of Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. When it is all of these are comprised, then that's primarily you are bringing every aspect of Krishna together. So, as I heard from another teacher, he said it's the 4x3 method. 4 is Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, and 3 is through your mind, body, and words. So 4x3 method, like all 12 ways we can glorify Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this first verse, Chaito Darpana Marjanam, he is, of course, he's glorifying the entire Sankirtanam. But in the second verse, if you see, Nam Namakari Bahuda, there he takes up the Nama Sankirtan. He brings up the glories of Nama Sankirtan. In the first verse, the entire thing is mentioned. So the other thing is, we have to nourish ourselves with sufficient hearing of Krishna Katha. Then we may be able to do Kirtanam effectively. So when you say here, when it said Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, we want to glorify Krishna. How can we glorify Krishna if we are not filling ourselves with Krishna consciousness? So when we hear and read these scriptures, then glorification automatically happens. Another simple example is given in terms of rasmalai. Like rasmalai, when you initially make the ball and then put it in the syrup, it soaks in the rasa. And then once it is soaked in the rasa, and then when you take the rasmalai out, and every bite that you take into it, all what comes out is only rasa. It's complete rasa. So that way, when we, I should be speaking this to myself. I have to continuously hear and take this in. Then when Shravanam happens properly, Kirtanam automatically happens well. So in everything we do, so that's why in every activity we do, book distribution, cooking, garland making, cleaning, every aspect of devotional service, when we are hearing, when we are doing Shravanam, it will come out in Kirtanam. Basically, it will come out in all the activities of devotional service that we are doing. So that's why it's kind of a complete thing. But it is also said that although the Rasmalai, coming back to Rasmalai, it's my favorite sweet, and we are coming into Dwadasi, so it's okay. Yes. So even though we have taken the Rasmalai and the rasa is there, but still there is a lot more rasa in the ball still remaining. Similarly, Krishna's pastimes and his Sankirtanam is so amazing that even though from our perspective, a little bit whatever we can do, we are doing, but still his glories are infinite, just always there. So it's said that Anantasesha, with all his 1,000 mouths, even he can, for millions of years, he chants Krishna's glories, but still it does not come to an end. So it can keep on continuing. So that's a wonderful aspect there. There's one more. Yes. Sambandha again. Yeah. So that's the thing. When we hear and know more about Krishna, then our chanting will become more effective, and Sambandha Gyan will be a significant role to be engaged in Abhideya. And whatever a sincere devotee does in the process of bhakti is just glorification of Supreme Lord. So that's why we said Sankirtanam. So whatever devotees are doing in their service to Krishna is purely Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. And that Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, the glories or what are the advantages and things like that, is those 7 things which we will go through. The 7 perfections in this verse. Yes. Okay. So the first perfection that comes out here is Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So Cheto Darpana. Darpana is a mirror. Marjanam is cleaning. Cleansing the mirror of our heart. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. That's the first advantage. What happens is, when we do Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, that is when we engage in all these processes of devotional service, the first thing or one of the things that can happen to us is our heart gets purified. Like our heart is like a mirror. Now if that mirror has a lot of dust coating on top of it, then when we come in front of it, we really can't see our reflection because nothing is visible because the dust is there. But when that mirror, when the dust is removed or cleansed, slowly you start to see your original self. So in that same way, our original pure Krishna consciousness, we are all originally fully Krishna conscious spirit souls, but because we have somehow come in the material world, we are covered with layers of things. We will talk about what things they are, but all of that covering is there. That covering can be removed simply by this Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That is the Cheto Darpana Marjam, and it's removed. And what are the coverings? What is that is covering us? Do you want to take a stab? Anyone? What is we are saying that our mirror of our heart is covered and we want to clear it. Just so anyone can tell, what is it which is covering our pure consciousness? Anyone want to go for it? Go. Perfect. Please, with the mic. Perfect. Great. Thank you. Your good name? Vamsi. Yes. That's one of the key, or 6 of the key things that anarthas. The anarthas that are covering our heart is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Greed, anger, lust, envy, pride, and greed, anger, pride, lust, envy, and one more thing. Illusion. Yes, thank you. So these 6 things, these are actually covering our consciousness, and this is the why we are not able to see our own pure self all the time. But the beauty of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is that it helps to clear out all of these anarthas from our heart. So it's slowly but for sure these things will, and we can observe it like in our regular everyday life. I've personally seen in my own life, like, there is want for there is pride. Anything small I do, automatically it comes up. Oh yeah, me, I have done this. Then that pride comes in, and then there is, if somebody crosses my way, oh no, just anger right away comes in, and then envy is there, jealousy is there. All of these anarthas are there in our hearts. The easy and simple way of let going all of that is primarily practicing this Sankirtanam, chanting, glorifying Krishna in different ways. When we glorify, this automatically gets cleared. That's one thing. The other thing, dust of 6 anarthas. Yes. One more thing with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I have not read this, but I have heard from different devotees, so I'm trying to repeat the same thing. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his commentary for Siksastakam, he says that there are 3 types of dirt, is also another 3 types of dirt that is present. One is anyabhilasha, that is any desire which is disconnected from bhakti or unfavorable for our progress of bhakti. Second is bhoga, enjoyment. Third is tyaga, which is artificial or dry renunciation, which is also called as falgu vairagya, which is also a subtle form of lust. So, subtle form of dust. So, there are these three other forms of dust, which is anyabhilasha, which is all things that are take us away from bhakti. Second is bhoga, enjoyment. And third is tyaga or artificial renunciation. About bhakti. Anyone wants to add anything on this particular aspect, or from your want to, like, any reflection so far on this? Please.
Hare Krishna Guru, thank you for taking us deeper into Siksastakam, because we recite this every day, and I was hoping that sometimes we can go deeper what every verse means. So thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you.
So I was remembering that verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna speaks about the different kinds of illusion.
Correct.
Actually, he gives three analogies, and one of this is mirror covered by dust, and
Correct.
he gives two more. One is the embryo covered by the womb,
Correct.
and there's one more,
Smoke covered by fire.
smoke covered by fire. So I was thinking that
Fire covered by smoke. Sorry.
yeah, fire covered by smoke. So he gives that illusion, living entity is originally pure, but he is covered by different degrees of illusion.
Correct.
So he gives illusion by maybe goodness, and then passion and ignorance, right? So these are the different degrees. So maybe these are the three analogies for different degrees of illusion or coverings.
Correct. Yes.
And when we chant Hare Krishna, or when we come to we read Bhagavad Gita, all these different degrees of illusions, they are removed.
They are removed.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Correct. They're different at different degrees. All of these illusion is covering us, and yeah, slowly but surely it can be removed. And just these scriptures help us understand how this, the levels that we embryo is covered by the womb, smoke, fire is covered by the smoke, and mirror is covered by the dust. So all of these are removed just by chanting or following Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. One aspect which I wanted to tell one short story before we reach here, so we'll try to get into that story. This is again about Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Have you guys heard about this? Story comes in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it's also very kind of famous in South India. Hare Krishna. This is about Bhrigu Muni deciding to test the three, amazing personalities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Do you guys know the story? Mother, would you want to quickly narrate? Short way? Do you want to? No, I want to add to extend to that. That's why.
Yeah, so once Bhrigu Muni wanted to test that who is,
Greatest.
Greatest among three. So they went first to Lord Shiva, and they went to Kailash there. Then after going there, Lord Shiva was expecting that he is my brother, and he will, hug me or maybe wish me something. But instead of doing that, he didn't even talk to Lord Shiva properly. And, so Lord Shiva really felt offended, and then how he is not behaving well, So he got very angry, and how Lord Shiva gets angry. So then Bhrigu Muni left the Kailash and then went to Lord Brahma's abode, and there he went Lord Brahma's, and Brahma was expecting that he is my son, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so maybe he will first wish me and then, tell me how's everything going, But the Bhrigu Muni again didn't do, and Lord Brahma also got very angry that, he's not, I remember that my Guru Maharaj's story in this connection. Guru Maharaj says that लोग क्या कहेंगे कि कैसी तुमने परवरिश की है बच्चे की जो respect ही नहीं करता, So that was really nice. And then from there, Bhrigu Muni goes to Vaikuntha Lok there, Shir Sagar, where the Lord Vishnu resides, and Mother Lakshmi was, massaging the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So there they goes and they just kick the chest of the Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu, instead of getting angry or anything, they fall at the feet of Brahmuni and says that, oh my Lord, I didn't give you like a flower or didn't wash your feet. I didn't even see you that you have arrived. So I should have welcomed you very well, but I didn't do it. Please forgive me, or like
Right.
he was just doing it. So then Brahmuni comes back to the assembly of sages, and then he says that, see, who is the greatest, and he narrates the story. So that's where he comes
Yes.
that Lord Vishnu is the greatest.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mataji. So yeah, it's perfect. This is the exact story. I heard a purport on this story, which is what I wanted to share now, and connecting to our verse for today. So the thing is, yes, when Bhrigu goes to test these powerful entities like Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Shiva, and Lord Brahma, Brahmaji is angry, and so he's eliminated from the end. Lord Shiva gets angry, he's eliminated, but Vishnu finally is selected. But what is been told is Lord Shiva, for example, when he goes to Lord Shiva, and when Lord Shiva is like for Bhrigu is like, almost like brother for Lord Shiva, so he's expecting him to come and hug him and things like that, as Mataji said. But then Bhrigu starts to scold like words of, he kind of abuses him with words saying that, oh, you are so filthy, you are dusted, and things like that. So Lord Shiva externally becomes angry, which is correct, and then he goes away. But then another aspect to it is, see, the same Lord Shiva, when Daksha Prajapati, in the huge assembly of sages, Daksha Prajapati insults him, he even curses him, but Lord Shiva is tolerant. He completely tolerant. It doesn't get angry at all. So, and that too in the assembly of such huge sages. Here it was only him and Bhrigu. So when Lord Shiva is so tolerant, why is he getting angry here? The aspect that was brought about is Lord Shiva was actually kind of getting angry just to bring out the fact that, oh, Lord Vishnu is the greatest. You are even considering me and Brahmaji in this. You are nominating me for this award. I should not even be nominated. It's directly Lord Shiva. So Lord Vishnu, who is the greatest. So he, through his body, he is expressing anger just in a way, indirectly glorifying Lord Vishnu. So this is an example of how through our body we can glorify Sankirtanam, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So Lord Shiva, just by his rejection or by showing his anger, he is indirectly glorifying Lord Vishnu and doing Sankirtanam. So that's how, just one small example on how by body, minds and words we can glorify the Supreme Lord. This was a good side of this story. I was also knowing your story, your version, but this aspect made it even more wonderful as to, oh, Lord Shiva is, and even Brahmaji in that way, same things. But that's the small thing that comes out. And of course, the other part of this whole thing is the entire Tirupati Kshetra comes because of this particular story, right? Because Lord Bhrigu touched the chest of Lord Mahavishnu with his feet, that's where Lakshmi Devi resides. So she feels that, oh, I have seen such a thing, and I'm going to go to tapasya, and then she comes down to earth, and she's performing tapasya in Kolhapur. Yes, in Kolhapur she's tapasya, and then Vishnu is completely, without Lakshmi, it's difficult for him. So he comes down to the material world as Srinivas, and he's residing there in the Seshachala hills, and then the whole story is there, and how finally he also gets married to Padmavati and Lakshmi Devi, and then finally he resides as Balaji in Tirupati even today. Yes. So very, very beautiful story. I mean, all our pastimes, our acharyas have, the history of Krishna consciousness is just amazing. When we start getting into the Leela, that's why it's called Leela, pastimes of Krishna. It gives wonderful things. So this was a small detour we took to understand the glory of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam once again. But we'll now coming back to Cheto Darpanam Archanam. So yes, Anyabhilasha, any desire, and then the Tyaga. which is the Falgu Vairagya, subtle form of dust. So what is examples for Falgu Vairagya? Falgu Vairagya is, for example, this mic is material. It is completely material. But when we speak Krishna consciousness through in this mic, it becomes spiritual, completely spiritual. Similarly, our acharyas have used planes, our acharyas used printing presses. So all of those things were material, but by engaging all of these things in Krishna's energy, they all become spiritual. So they have engaged it in Krishna's energy and becomes spiritual. But there are some folks who say that, oh yeah, these are, this mic is material, I just leave it, give it up. But that kind of does not, that's the aspect of Falgu Vairagya. Like, without knowing without engaging it, we're just rejecting it. So that is, even these are subtle forms of dust, which kind of can be eliminated through the aspect of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So that is one thing. Let's move forward. We'll go to the second one, which is Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. So it says Davagni is forest fire. Maha Davagni is the great forest fire. And Bhava Maha Davagni is the great forest fire of this material world. So this great forest fire of material world, Nirvapanam, it will extinguish. It will extinguish the forest fire of material, this great forest fire of material existence. So for this, I have my own life also, multiple examples, but anybody would like to share, is this material world really a forest fire, or everything is great and just people like us, we just keep telling that this material world is just a great forest fire? What do you guys think? Is it all great, or it is a problematic existence in this material world? It is? Any reasons? Sorry, can you use the mic?
Yeah, so we constantly get like bombarded with the things like lust, greed, anger, and then
Correct.
also the other problems. For instance, we have somewhere the war is going on, and then you have the Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik
Perfect.
Klesha. So the 3 different types of kleshas are going on, and then it's no matter, like we try to solve one problem and then we think, oh, we are all good, and then next problem comes even bigger than the previous one. So
Yes.
did we really solve the problem, or we created the new one, right? We are all
Correct.
constantly in the loop. But I think it's also in a way, like maybe this time especially, it's also nice because, for instance, like today or like every Saturday we get to hear about the
Right.
Lord's glory, and then we chant together. So this is also very nice. In the association of devotees we get it. So maybe I'm not saying, I'm talking for myself, there are maybe great souls who they come for the with the highest level, but people like especially me, who comes like constant these kind of problems, so we come, oh God, like this is the problem, so we get even more like towards bhakti. So I think these problems kind of also help in a way to get more close to the Lord, and then feel like we're nice about hearing our Lord's glories and chanting about all these things. So maybe it could be we are taking shelter to get rid of the problems, or
Yes.
or don't know. But I think so
Yes.
I would say it's a problematic, and
Right.
yeah.
Great, thank you. Wonderful points. Sorry, 1 second. So yes, you brought out all the points as to why this material world is the blazing fire of forest fire, but you also added the point, the mercy of our acharyas. Somehow we got the mercy, which is what is helping us to get away from this. So we know we are doing Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That is why Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam is happening in our lives. So that's perfect. But there are lots of people out there, for them there is no Nirvapanam. It's just Bhava Maha Davagni. So it becomes even more and more important for us to, that's where the preaching mood of our movement comes in. That's where we want to go out there and give it to them, because we know we have been able to see that the fire is getting extinguished in our lives through this process. So just want to share it with the world. So because that for sure it will help everyone. So yes, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I was thinking about meeting people on book distribution. So many times people are materially doing very well,
Yes.
but still their hearts are not happy. There's something missing. So there was in Mountain View downtown, we were distributing books, and there was one guy, very good looking, and we just gave him a compliment that you look so happy, what's your secret? He said, actually, I'm not happy.
Oh.
And I said, where do you work? He said, I work for NASA.
Okay.
He was working for NASA for 40 years.
Okay.
I said, in India, everybody is actually the greatest people, the best students, they aspire to go to NASA. You must be a genius. He said, I used to love my job, but I hate it.
Mm-hmm. So, that's
he said, in the beginning there was that good feelings, but now I have everything in my life. I have money, I earn a lot, but I hate my job. He said, it's just so we see that any material things in the beginning they give us happiness for some time, but then it turns sour. Even in my life, we have seen, while growing up, the parents tell us, okay, you perform well in this grade, then you will be done, or you
Yes.
you just go through college, then you will be done.
Ignorance.
Don't. but at every step, there is more and more problem. People who are working, they are spending their nights working hard,
Correct.
their weekends working hard.
True.
So there's no end to it.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. It never ends. Even same, I will ditto that, because I thought, okay, man, after 12th, I get an engineering college, I'm done. But after engineering, done. The graduate, done. No. Job, done. Even job, this post, no. That degree, no. It just continuously. And now, though, I am working on the AI side, but AI is also pushing limits in different ways. So yeah, there is continuous. And the point that Manji brought about, the main three things that are troubling all of us is Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika Klesha. So Durga Devi, that's why she stands with the trident. So this is Durga Alaya, like Granthalaya is where you find books. This is Durga Alaya. This is Durga Devi's fort. And so she is here ready with putting all those three things, Adhyatmika, Adidevika, Adibhautika. What does that mean is, Adhyatmika is miseries caused by one's own mind and senses. Adidevika is miseries caused by the natural elements, and Adibhautika is miseries caused by other living entities around us. So if you see something or the other, our mind is causing us trouble, or the nature is causing us trouble, or other living entities are causing us trouble, kleshas are always there in this material world. The only safe house of protecting ourselves from klesha is the temple. Right now, it is all the temples that have been established by Prabhupada, like this ISKCON, for example, movement. It's a house where the entire world can live in. But and how is that possible? Because once we engage in this different processes of bhakti, as again I am mentioning, Nama Sankirtanam, cleaning, cooking, book distribution, deity worship, garland making. There is so many services in the temple. When we engage in that, automatically we are getting shelter from this Dhahavagni. We understand. And how is that possible? Because we understand that we are spirit soul, we are not this body. That knowledge itself is first of all helping us get away from things that we just get affected by things with the body. Like for example, if somebody hits my new car, because I identify myself with the car, I will get completely upset as soon as I know that I've been hit by the car. Oh, I have been hit. It's not my car. It's I have been hit comes into picture. But when I identify that I am not the car, I am still safe, then automatically a little bit relaxed. Or if it is not even my car, somebody else's, then even better. So like that, when we understand that we are not this body, we slowly start getting safe or becoming happy getting away from this Bhava Maha Dhahavagni. So that's again got by Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So that's one thing. We can go deeper in there, but for time reasons, we'll just continue forward. The next one is, what is that? Yes, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. So here, Shreya is auspiciousness. Kairava is the blue lotus. Chandrika is the moonlight. Vitaranam is spreading. So this Sri Krishna Sankirtanam spreads the moonlight or the cooling moonlight of all auspiciousness to each and every one of our lives. So that's the beauty of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Yes, in this regard, there's again one story which comes up with respect to all auspiciousness, right? Sometimes we see that auspiciousness, something what is auspicious for us might not be auspicious for somebody else because it's relative. So we might call, again on this regard, one story which I heard was, we all have heard probably about Akbar and Birbal, like in India. This still there. Birbal was the witty minister of Akbar. So one time it happens that Akbar, he wakes up in the morning and he goes out into his veranda and he wants to see the nature outside, and he sees a washerman. The washerman also sees him, and washerman all pays his respects to him, and Akbar comes back. When he's stepping inside, his leg hits to something, and then he goes and hits, and his chin is hurt. And of course then he's being treated for that stuff. And then his ministers, who are always want to lift him up, pump him up, they say that, oh, Akbar, what happened? Why is this? How did this happen to you? And maybe something inauspicious happened in your life. This morning, did you wake up and see something inauspicious? That's why Then Akbar starts thinking, and he says that, oh yeah, I saw this washerman. Right away the ministers catch on to it and say, see this washerman's face. You saw his face. That is why you got hurt. Therefore, he is the cause of your inauspiciousness. So then Akbar says, okay, yeah, he's the cause. Let me call him. And he gives him a death punishment, direct death penalty. Then, of course, Birbal comes to know, he's also a minister. And Birbal is just, he feels for the washerman. Then he comes and talks to Akbar and says, Akbar, so what happened? You saw his face and therefore you got hurt. And so Birbal tells Akbar, you saw his face and you got hurt. And but he saw your face and he's getting death penalty. So is your face inauspicious or more inauspicious, or his face? Because he's getting a death penalty, which is big. So that's the thing about inauspiciousness. So of course, Akbar understands and he lets him, he pardons the washerman away. The point is that relative auspiciousness is relative across the world. But this Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, Shreya Kairava, it brings all auspiciousness. It brings auspicious to everyone. Every complete auspiciousness is brought about by Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So it's not that if we if we go and share this Krishna consciousness that we received with someone else, that our Krishna consciousness, that we will go down. Not possible at all. The more we share, the more we will become happy. The more our auspiciousness grows. So that is the beauty of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. You keep on doing Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, it is just going to bring auspiciousness into our life. Sometimes, I've seen personally, sometimes we might not understand. As Steve Jobs says, you can only connect the dots looking backward, right? So we might see sometimes that, something wrong is happening in our lives. But I've personally experienced also, we think that something wrong is happening, but if you put the faith in Krishna and move forward, you will see down the line, and if you look back and say, oh yeah, that happened for the right reason, because now I'm in a much better stage than where I could have been if that did not happen in my life. So Krishna, especially for devotees, he is orchestrating our lives for the best. Okay, if this devotee, if he gets wealth, if his bhakti will not go forward, then he will not give wealth to the devotee. But if he sees that, this devotee, if he gets wealth, still he will continue forward in his bhakti, he will give. Similarly, in different things are orchestrated in the lives of Krishna. And people usually say, we have karma, whatever we know we do, it will come back. But for devotees, Krishna is personally orchestrating the karma. He says, material energy, do not come in the way. I am take care of this devotee. So even if sometimes accidents and things like that happen in devotees' lives, Krishna is personally orchestrating it. Whatever needs to happen for this devotee to move forward in bhakti, only that will happen. Even though his karma might have been in the case that, for example, in a devotee's case, the devotee, might have really passed away because of but Krishna sees, in this life he's making amazing bhakti, he can orchestrate and allow you to move forward. And otherwise, in other cases also. But it's basically being handled very well by Krishna. So that's the Shreya Kairava Chandrika. Vitaranam. Next, we will go into the fourth one. Let me see if I'm missing. Oh yeah, one more thing I just wanted to cover with respect to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in this same aspect of Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. He talks about 5 levels of consciousness that are present in all. There's the first level, which is the covered consciousness. This is usually seen in trees and plants. So their consciousness is covered. You might pluck a flower, the tree will really not be hurt so much. So that's another thing. Some folks, when they say that, oh, you're vegetarian, we are vegetarian and things like that, they bring up the aspect that even vegetarians hurt plants and trees. But of course, the consciousness is so low, it really does not hurt them as much. And of course, then we offer it and take Krishna's blessings to move things forward. But that's one level, that is covered consciousness. Second level of consciousness is shrunken consciousness. This is seen in animals. Mostly they are with respect to bodily consciousness. So they are only with respect to the body, whatever needs of the body. Then is the third level of consciousness, which is the budding consciousness, which is seen in human beings who are not practicing bhakti. So they are also conscious, but not fully. But then there is the fourth one, which is the blossoming consciousness. This is seen in human beings who are practicing sadhana bhakti. And finally, the topmost is completely blossomed consciousness. This is seen in prema bhakta, the devotees who are fully engaged in prema bhakti. So Sankirtanam, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will help you by bringing you to this top consciousness from the bottom. So through this Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. So that's another beautiful thing about this aspect, this particular glory. Then we'll go to the next glory, which is Vidya Vadu Jivanam. So here, Vidya refers to spiritual knowledge. There is Paravidya and Aparavidya. I believe Aparavidya is material, right? No, Paravidya is material, Aparavidya is spiritual. I always get confused, but one of these. Is that correct? Paravidya is material, Aparavidya is spiritual. Yes, we'll fix it. But yes, this Vidya which is mentioned here is spiritual Vidya, spiritual knowledge. And it says Vadu Jivanam. So Vadu is basically the bride. So Vidya Vadu Jivanam. So I think the best way is if I can recite what I have here. Bride basically is always focusing on the husband. Similarly, spiritual knowledge considers Krishna as the object of her love. So Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is the Jivanam of Vidya Vadu. That means the spiritual knowledge who is considered as the consort of Krishna is that life is also Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That's what comes forward with this aspect of Vidya Vadu Jivanam. Then we go into the next one, which is Anandambudhi Vardhanam. So here, Ananda means bliss. Ambudhi is an ocean. Vardhanam, like ever increasing ocean of bliss. This is what the another mercy of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. In this case, anyone can say what are the different kinds of happinesses that are involved? Like what kind of bliss or happiness might be, what are the different types that might be present that we know of, are aware of? I can give the example. First is the material happiness, just bhoga, like from the material world. Then is Brahmananda, which is the happiness coming from the Brahman realization. And then the third is Premananda, which is the happiness coming from the pure prema stage. So in terms of the quantifying things, it is said that this happiness of this material world is considered like a drop of happiness, drop of water, for example. And then this Brahmananda is considered like happiness that is available in a calf's footprint, little. But Premananda is like the happiness that is present in an ocean. The ocean is deep and far and wide. We cannot measure the amount. For example, if you get a 747 Boeing and place it somewhere in one of these cities in Tri Valley, I'm coming from Tri Valley, but in South Bay, how difficult do you think would it be for you to find out where that plane is? Is it going to be difficult? Not difficult? Right? Let's say you have an helicopter You can figure it out pretty quickly. But the same plane, you just dip it in the ocean. How difficult is that going to be to find that? Sometimes it is impossible to find, some plane crashes happen and it's just not possible to find the wreckage of the plane because the deep ocean is so very deep. So it's like finding a needle in a haystack. So that's what just to bring it back to our discussion. So the amount of happiness that we try to get from the material world is like a drop of the happiness. But from the Brahmananda, from the aspect of Brahman realization, is still a calf's footprint. But the prema or the ananda that we get from Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is like an ocean. It's deep and far and wide, and it's ever increasing. So for us, as we more and more engage, we kind of sometimes think that, we as an Atma, our soul is minute. Like we are just 1 by 100,000th part of the tip of the hair in quantity compared to Krishna. But then how is it that we can engage, we can get so much happiness? But that is possible by this Premananda. As we get more and more deeper into Krishna consciousness, it keeps more and more increasing. That's why if you see some of the devotees who are pure devotees, they are completely engaged and absolutely happy all the time. Nothing disturbs them. And Amrish Maharaj, for example, and all the 12 Mahajans and everyone. So that's the beauty of this aspect. And this Anandambudhi Vardhanam, by engaging in Krishna consciousness or Sankirtanam, this comes into our automatically. Ananda bliss keeps on increasing. So that's one thing. Then we'll go to the 6th one, which is Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. That is Pratipadam. In every step, Purnamrita Swadanam. That is, in every step, you can start to taste the nectar of devotional service. And it continues again and again. Yes. So, for example, material bliss, you cannot even, like for example, we love, let's go to Rasmalai. I somehow I love it. You give me 1 Rasmalai, I will eat it. You get 2, I'll eat it. 4, I will eat it. I have not done a competition, but I can go probably 10, 15 easily. But after that, then I will start distancing it, and then for 15 days I will distance it. That's because the material taste, although it's good for us, but then we want to, we cannot have it continuously. Similarly, in our tech world, for example, in the world here, we work 5 days a week, and then we want the weekend, and we want to go out somewhere. We want to just go for skiing and things like that, and folks go out, and then they come. Then that does not, how many days will you ski? They'll again come back, and so this material world, things are not, everlasting. But chanting of the holy name, it is Poonam, it's always, continuously existing. You can keep on chanting. Devotees have been chanting for 20 years, 40 years. And even in the same day, devotees have initially started 1 round, go to 2 rounds, go to 16 rounds. People chant 32 rounds, sometimes chant once in a while 192 rounds. Srila Haridas Thakur was chanting every day 192 rounds. And then we have been chanting for years. And the same mantra, like Hare, Krishna and Rama, just 3 words. Why? How can you just repeat the same thing? I also ask myself this question, but there is something in there. You can keep on chanting the mantra again and again and again. You keep on the bliss, some attraction. Of course, if you can avoid the offenses, because offenses kind of cloud away the beauty of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That's why it's very important to kind of, that's actually comes in the 3rd verse of Siksastakam. We'll get to that. But yeah, if you can avoid offenses, then the taste increases more and more and more. And then, we can keep on chanting Hare Krishna. That's the best thing. Actually, one place, somewhere I saw that there is an ad they put up saying that we'll give you this one, private, isolated house, but you can only one person you can live there. And how many hours or days can you live? And if you live for beyond some 90 days or something, or 10 days, 15 days, then you get some big award. And I've heard folks just could not remain there because it's silence. There's nothing. There's no, there's no phone. There's nothing. Silence. People just go crazy. But I was thinking, I don't know when, but You just give bead bag and give prasadam. We can chant. We'll win. No problem. Put any devotee there. He'll chant 192 rounds. And he'll be happy and come out victorious. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. We will be happy wherever we go. Just give us some prasadam and we are good. So that's the power of Krishna consciousness. Okay, cool. Then we'll move ahead to, the seventh one, which is the Sarvatma Snapanam. Bathing the entire soul. Entire soul is bathed with the nectarian glories of Krishna. So I'll quickly move forward. So these are the seven glories or the things that happen by Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All of these things help us to move forward in our spiritual lives. With that said, let's move forward. Okay, I think this is what we addressed. Cheto Darpanam Archanam, it cleanses the mirror of the heart. The second one extinguishes the forest fire of material existence. Third one diffuses the moon rays of bhakti. Fourth one, it is the life of all transcendental knowledge. Fifth one, increases the ocean of transcendental bliss. Sixth one, enables one to taste complete nectar at every step. Seventh one, Premananda, is completely pure. So, just by engaging in Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, we will get all of these benedictions. What more do you want? Just like a jackpot. Okay, great. So, let's go to the second one, which is here Mahaprabhu is introducing the aspect of Nama Sankirtanam. Till now, we are talking about the entire aspect, but in this particular thing, it fully focuses on Nama Sankirtanam. I'll recite the verse, we'll recite it together, and then someone can read the meaning. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrashamiha Janina Nuragaha. Could someone please read the translation? Where's Mike? Thank you.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
Thank you. So here, Mahaprabhu is, of course, in all of these verses, Mahaprabhu is kind of talking to Krishna, but he's also internally giving to us the instructions. So here what we are saying, he's not only bringing out the aspect of Nama, but he's saying what is our ineptitude. That we are not even qualified, but Krishna is giving us this mercy. And Nam Akari Bahuda. So the Krishna has multiple, numerous names of Krishna. And he has endowed all of his energies into the name. If we realize that, it really helps us. One particular example which is coming from the Ramayana, not directly from Valmiki Ramayana, but this is there, wherein one time Vibhishan, he wants to send some message across the ocean to Lanka. So he's sending some messengers. So he says to the messengers, you have to cross the ocean and go there and give this, take this message. So now the messengers ask, how can we cross the ocean? Then Vibhishan tells them, he gives them a paper, folded paper, and he tells them, just take this paper and keep it in front of the ocean, and the ocean will give way and you can go walk. But do not open this paper. Whatever it is, do not open the paper. They agree and they go and stand in front of the ocean. Automatically the ocean separates, like similarly as we see in the Red Sea separate in the 10 Commandments and all that. Right? Similarly here the ocean separated and these messengers are going across. So they are, wow, the ocean is separated. What is this? What is there in this? And they go forward, but curiosity kills the cat. So curiosity comes in to pick them and says, oh, what is there in this? Really, what is there in this? But then one of the messengers said, no, Vibhishan has said, don't. So they move ahead, but still they have not crossed. Then still it kind of finally gets to them and say, no, we really want to see what's there in this. And they open the paper and all that is there is Rama, name of Rama. They say, oh, just Rama? That's it. Ocean, everything comes back and they're done. Because until they did not know, they kind of put some faith and move forward, and Rama, the name was so potential. But when they kind of lost that thing, that the potential, and then everything is lost. Similarly, all of us, Mahaprabhu Krishna has invested in his holy name. Like I'm really talking this to myself. Like Radha and Krishna's name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is invested with the best potency. If we are able to chant it with love, with affection, it can really transform our lives. And Krishna is present everything. So in the regular world, again, Rasmalai and the word are different things. I just cannot just chant Rasmalai and be happy. I have to eat one. But in the thing word, Krishna and Krishna's names are non-different. So when we are chanting Krishna's name, Krishna is with us. And as someone told this morning, Krishna is there with us. So we affectionately chant, we are actually in association of Krishna by chanting the holy names. Similarly is other names. So actually it's said that there are two types of names. One is the Mukhya Naam, and then the other one is the Gauna Naam. Mukhya Naam is the principles names of Krishna, which are non-different from his personality. And then there is Gauna Naam is the secondary names, which are more partial potencies of the Lord. And in Mukhya Naam also there is Madhurya Naam and Aishwarya Naam. Madhurya Naam are the sweet names of Krishna, like Krishna, Govinda, Rama, Damodara, Venudhari, Radharaman, Gopinath. And then there is Aishwarya Naam, reverential names of Vishnu, reverential names of Krishna, which is Vasudeva, Vishnu, Narasimha. All of these names of Krishna are really embodied with a lot of potency. And if we can engage, if we can sincerely just put some faith into it, automatically we can, that name will bless us. And that is the beauty of this particular mantra, which is Nam Namakari Bahuda, which says that just by putting our faith in Krishna's name, although we don't have any qualification, but just by putting faith, we'll get all the association of Krishna. And the other one, which I've personally tried to understand, is Krishna's names. There is one God, Krishna, but his names can be in different ways in different places, like different languages. Just because it is in Sanskrit doesn't mean that's the only thing. It can be in Arabic, it's possible. It can be in Hebrew, it's possible. It can be in English, it's possible. Krishna's names are in different. There is one God. And that God appears in different circumstances, different places, different names and different places. But that he has all these multitudes of names. But if you understand that there's one God, we are all servitors of that God, and we are all parts and parcels of the God, then pretty much it's very easy to achieve universal brotherhood in this very life, in this world, to be frank. Okay, so ideally we usually complete here at 9:30, but I was told the Kaishara class, which is there, usually it's not there. Matij? Yeah, so we will just go for 10 more minutes and there are more verses. Actually, I mean, we can go deeper. Actually, I myself have not gone deep. I'm still learning. So there are acharyas and there are devotees who have given 3 days, 4 days lectures into Siksastakam, depths and depths of this stuff. But sadhana bhakti, just the top 5 itself, if we focus, we can get a lot more. So we'll just try to at least complete one more, which is the 3rd verse. We'll go that one. This is the beauty of a verse. We'll repeat. Please repeat along with us. Actually, we'll go together. Sorry, in unison. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Could someone chant, read that, please? Anyone? Please go ahead.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of faults, prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Thank you. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, first of all, he introduced us to the glories and the things about Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Then he spoke about, then he's talking about Nama Sankirtanam. Then here, in this particular verse, he's bringing out the fact that how do we perform this Nama Sankirtanam? In what mood do we perform, can we perform this Nama Sankirtanam to the best possible things? And those are, we have to be in a humble state of mind. First thing is lower than the straw in the street. So we know a blade of grass, Blade of grass is in such a position that it will just, even if you stamp on it, it does not protest in any way. It will just simply come back up. So we need to be in that state of mind. For this, there's a small quote that I heard, which I will read out today. This will bring out something. So here, quote. This is a quote. Please go through with me. I will just read it. I once saw a van transporting flooring, and written on it were the words, "We will make your feet smile." When I saw that, I felt very happy. My feet were smiling just hearing the line. In a way, this perfectly reflects the mood of service we are meant to cultivate. When we approach devotees or when we approach the Lord, we approach in a spirit of service, meaning we approach their feet with the intention to please. And how does flooring make the feet smile? By being underneath. If the floor were on the top of the feet, would that bring any happiness? The floor stays beneath the feet, beneath the dust. Yet, because it accepts that position so gracefully, it becomes smooth, gentle, and pleasing, something that makes the feet smile. This is how we are meant to be, taking a humble position of service to please others. Service means to please. It does not mean performing dramatic acts or hurting ourselves. It simply means placing ourselves humbly, like the floor, beneath others with love. This was written by His Holiness Radhanath Swami. So I just wanted to bring that aspect. So it's saying that how important it is to be following this, what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. Just being humbler than a blade of grass. The other aspect is how tolerant, being more tolerant than a tree. It's very easy to just read this, but when a tree is basically in multiple ways, you can just cut it down, it does not protest. You can pluck its fruits, it does not protest. You can even, once it's almost gone, you can even cut off and burn it, it does not protest. Similarly, if we are in that kind of a mode, it really, really helps us to chant better. And the other aspect which comes up here is giving all respect to others and expecting no respect for oneself. So that's another thing, because what in my own personal life I've seen is this want of prestige or want of credit is a tough thing to overcome. Anytime we do something, we want folks to appreciate us in certain ways. But if somehow we are able to, just give all respect to others and not just expect any for oneself, then it becomes really, life becomes much, much easier. We don't, otherwise, most of the things is that thing is just spinning in our hearts, and all of that is what takes away our japa time. When you're chanting, oh, this comes, oh, that, this word, oh, this my wife, or husband, different things. Of course, I should be very sincere. In respect to family life, sometimes within spouses, Trinadapi Sunichana goes away. Really, really in bad way. I forget. I myself forget, but I've been trying to, bring this into my thing, because what I was told is, especially our family, they are somehow provided by Krishna in a particular. This whole orchestration has happened because there is a karmic give and take happening. So and because they are practicing devotees, it becomes even more important that they are Vaishnavas. So we have to respect Vaishnavas, and we have to care for them as we care for all other Vaishnavas. So first, I have to start applying Trinadapi Sunichana at home, not shout and things like that, but especially with growing kids. But yes, this application is very important of Trinadapi Sunichana. Anyone wants to share anything on Trinadapi? Yes, please, ma'am.
Question.
There is.
Thank you. I have a question.
Please.
Most of us here come from the tech background, and our identity is very associated with that.
Correct.
So when we start doing our japa mantra, at least for me, I'm speaking from my experience,
Yes.
I always think about something that's happening at the work, some fight that's... So it's not the family that is distracting me, it's what goes in my head is constantly like, okay, this work is pending, this is happening, this politics, that.
Right.
and you said that you have to be a floor. If you really are a floor at workplace, everybody is going to stamp over you.
Right.
And all of us, meaning we've studied hard, we've come here, we work hard, and we have to put in 50 times more effort than other people to get the recognition, right? And we've paid our dues to get where we are. So you can't really be a floor in that sense. When I was reading this, I was like, yes, being a floor makes sense, giving respect to others, but if you're really doing that at workplace, so those are the two questions that I have. Like, how do you concentrate better and not think about the work things that's at least for me, it's the work thing that's bothering me. And how being tolerant and all of that is good, but how do you practice that because we spend most of our time working, right? Out of the 24 hours, it's like 8 hours of sleep or 6-7 hours of sleep, and rest of the time either with family or working, right? How do we...
Great. Thank you. I will be fully in line with you because I belong to the same category, same tech world and same things, day in and day out, lots of things. So how does this first one? How do we chant without all of those coming into our picture? So for that, things that have been told to us is by practice. If we can before we go out of the house, and this again, I also have to practice, but every day in the morning when we get up, if we can get up and chant a few rounds, as many rounds as possible, before we step out of the house, that is really, really helping. Because what happens is when we get up, like when we have slept, we have gone into the mode of ignorance, that allows us to sleep. And when we have gotten up, really at that point of time, and as soon as we get up, we freshen up without looking into the phone, without looking into all of that stuff, we freshen up and just sit and chant Krishna's name. Then especially if it's in the early morning hours, Brahma Muhurta, and early morning hours, it's in the mode of goodness. So in that mode of goodness, when we start chanting, there is a power to actually, it will help us, that modes will help us to chant without really bringing in all those other things into our head. But what happens is if we move that chanting to later in the day, afternoon, night, evening, then, because we have already gone through the day and all those things are kind of in our head, that will come during our chanting. But if we can somehow practice that in the morning, get up and use, I call it as the utilization of modes. Morning modes, Brahma Muhurta especially, is very powerful. This I need to follow myself too, but Brahma Muhurta is powerful. If you chant, you will see remarkable difference, that nothing else comes, and the chanting will be like a breeze. We can go through like a breeze. That's one thing.
For me, I sometimes chant at night because doing just the chanting, I go to sleep, I don't wake up at night. I feel very at peace, and I really sleep well because earlier I used to take melatonin just to fall asleep.
Okay.
And now just doing few rounds of chanting at night time, I get 6.5 hours of sleep, I don't wake up.
Perfect. You can continue that. Add just a few more rounds in the morning when you wake up, and you'll see a lot of difference in the thing. And then the aspect of second question of how, yes, totally agree that the same humility mode cannot go directly in the office environments. So what we are trying to understand is, first of all, when we are about ourselves, we understand that, I'm going to put in this much effort. Krishna always says, it is 2 fingers. It's not that if you are a devotee, just things will happen. No. We have to put our effort, which is the effort that we put. Then it is Krishna's mercy. 2 things always works to us. Then the aspect of humility, at least how we practice, is we don't need to be aggressive. We don't need to be completely humble, but we can be assertive. In the sense that we are not like pushing things forward or being too aggressive, but we know, okay, what we are doing, and we can be assertive in the environment, in the work that we are doing, but not completely submissive as well. So that nature can slowly be developed. And yes, of course, in association of devotees, we follow the process. But in our external world also, when we give respect to this particular aspect of giving respect to all and expecting none in return, that actually helps in office environments also. Because when you give respect to every employee whom we are working with, especially if it's their juniors or their co-workers or their when they see that this person is just giving so much respect, automatically they start giving that back to you, and then slowly things will work forward. But it's a work in motion. It takes time. Yes, it takes time, but it can happen. And just chanting, what I've personally also seen, like it starts to come into effect. Like when we chant, the qualities, the good qualities start developing in the devotees. Krishna is cleansing our heart. Anarthas are going away, as we discussed. And when anarthas are going away, greed, pride, anger, lust, envy is going away, it is being noticed. People do notice that. And they really, for especially devotees' case, it gets noticed, and they see, and things will work out. Just perfect. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Prabhu, I had a follow-up question. So,
Please.
it's tough to chant in the Brahma Muhurtam. I chant
Totally.
in the normal hours or prefer in the evening and late nights.
Correct.
What are the advantages of Brahma Muhurtam? And if we are not, for some reason, late night work and other things,
Correct.
and we can't wake up at 4 a.m.,
Right.
are there any other alternatives for it? Or what are the advantages of the Brahma Muhurtam chanting at that?
Yes. Alternatives, I'll tell multiple, because I'm myself using multiple of the alternatives. Yeah. So I'm also in the tech world, so it gets late in the night. And so if it's not Brahma Muhurta, as early as possible, 6 o'clock, if it's possible, 6:30. What is being stressed is that before you step out into the material world, just grab some time. Vaishnaga Maharaj always tells, like, have a clean, neat place where you do japa every day in the morning. Just go sit there with the beads, with no phone, nothing. Just give that amount of that time. Like, it can be 1 round, 2 rounds, so far 7 minutes, 15 minutes. Just somehow, if we can give that time to Krishna and chant, that's perfect. So yeah, whatever, just before you step out of the house. And then, of course, whatever is possible later, it's possible. We continue to do it. And then when you come in the association of devotees, whenever possible, like here we have Japa Circle in the morning on Saturdays. See if you can join. What happens is, in the association of devotees, we start to see the advantages, and it also kind of rubs on to us that, oh yeah, I can do this maybe 10 minutes earlier, maybe 15 minutes earlier, slowly it gets. Now, coming to the aspect of Brahma Muhurta, what is the power of Brahma Muhurta? It's called Brahma Muhurta. Somehow, this is just my own personal observation. It's just a great time. Even in the most cold times, if you see in the Brahma Muhurta, if you go out, actually when you try to get out of the house and come, the temperature is a kind of okay. It's nice, but afterwards it becomes cold. So in Brahma Muhurta has some special thing, that is 1.5 hours before sunrise. It has power, it's mode of goodness. That when we start chanting in that time, we will see automatically the mind does not deflect as much. But when we do it in the day also proceeds in different modes. Like morning is a mode of goodness, afternoon is mode of passion, evening is mode of ignorance, night is completely ignorance. That's why ignorance allows us to sleep. So as the modes are there, according to the modes, you can utilize. It's basically, modes are nothing but sailing winds. Like in your whale, if you want to sail, if you put up the sail in the direction of the wind, you can move faster. So basically, if we can put ourselves in that time, because that mode is, Krishna has given every day, he has given that powerful time in which there is powerful spiritual energy. So it will really help us. And practically, I have seen, with respect to kids, right? I have a teenager. This happens. Sometimes if you tell my son to do something, it's in the evening time and something, he will come with solid responses and things like that, and it will be very hard to make him do some things. But if the same thing I tell it to him in the morning time, it's much easier. It just goes through. And that's when I observe the power of the modes. Like really, the modes help. Like we have to work along with the modes. So it just makes up. I hope that helps.
Hare Krishna.
I have, I don't know how much time. Sorry, 1 second, Prabhuji. We'll just. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead. Mukhanand Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam.
Dhanvat Pranam.
Thank you, such a fantastic class, and I really like your answer about chanting in the morning and so many other things that you told from your practical realization,
Thank you.
especially about the family life and how to practice this verse. And I just wanted to read a comment that one of the new devotee has put in the chat, or I don't know if you can see that or I can read that.
Please.
I thought it's good to enter here. She is Sakina. She is joining here in the online. She mentioned that Or Sakina, if you want to read, you can please unmute and you can read. There's a community, so we welcome everyone to share their. Um, if not, then I can.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes.
Can
Yeah.
you
Please
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yes.
You can hear me?
Thank you. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, thank you. This is my first time. I'm new here.
Great, welcome.
So I wrote in the chat, this has been very enlightening. And since I'm new, I'm also humbly sharing this with you.
Please, go ahead.
I'm a Black woman, and I practice Jojin, Vajrayana Buddhism, and I'm new to the area, so I'm looking for a spiritual community.
Great.
But I identify with the question the sister raised about not having people walk all over you at work. I too, as a Black woman, deal with this, have to be 2 times better, 5 times better. And if you're not careful, people will walk all over you. So for me, with my practice, I found that loving compassion and loving kindness helps me keep healthy. And by that, I mean, this helps me bounce back like the blade of grass.
Great.
It means that when people are disrespectful to me or try to walk over me in that way, I can see that they're in pain. And so that helps me to not lash out with anger, and it helps me to not let it take it personally. And so I'm able to respond in a way that respects my values, it respects myself, but also I'm being firm with people without being rude or inappropriate. This, I believe, has helped me stay godly. I'm not able to do this every time, but I'm always working toward being able to do that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining.
That was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Very, very happy and welcome. We welcome you to our community, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sakina.
Prabhuji, before we start chanting, is there any specific mood or specific prayer that could help? I've been thinking to start with reading the 10 offenses, but do you have any practical tips there which I can quickly do and get in that right frame of mind?
That's exactly what we are reading today, Siksastakam. So if you recite Siksastakam before chanting, that's what happens in most temples. They chant Siksastakam, would be just wonderful. And we also said this morning, we can be grateful to our acharyas and the other, just at least that's my take.
Sorry, I came just now, so I didn't.
No problem. Yes. So Siksastakam prayers are wonderful. Just by chanting these 8 prayers, they set the mood. And Mahaprabhu has invested so much into these verses, like pretty much the entire essence of our Vedic knowledge is present in these 8 Siksastakam prayers. It takes us from the Shraddha stage to Prema stage entirely. And that's why in most ISKCON temples, this is recited before chanting of japa. But of course, many people, what I've heard is they rush through it and then start chanting. But if we sincerely go through it and kind of understand the meanings of this, the Cheto, Dharpa, Namarchanam, all the meanings, that kind of brings us to a state where what is Krishna, who is Krishna, and then when we chant, we will chant with affection. Just my small. Thank you. Prabhuji, yes, I think, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I just want to share something in the context of Anandambodhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. So you nicely explained that the happiness felt by a materialist is compared to a drop of water, and whereas the happiness derived by an impersonalist is compared to the water contained in the hoof print of a calf.
Correct.
And whereas a devotee derives the ultimate happiness, which is compared to the ocean.
Yes.
So recently I was hearing that, of course, we understand that any materialist within this world, sense gratifier, he mostly experiences misery only. And whereas the impersonalist, so as Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains in this Kleshu Adhikatarastesham Avyakta Sakta Chetasaha Avyaktam Hi Gatir Dukkam. So he has to undergo so much of misery while practicing itself. So whereas for a devotee it is Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. So impersonalist has to do a lot of austerities just to get very meager result. The result is also meager.
Yes.
But whereas a devotee, he experiences happiness while practicing stage also. And ultimately when he achieves perfection, when he achieves prema for the Lord, he experiences the ocean of bliss.
Yes.
I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. And just to put it in modern context, if you can just say that materials is whatever they're doing is like a Raspberry Pi, and what spiritualists are doing is like a 4 trillion or 100 trillion parameter AI model. Very, very fast. Does it. Tremendous and good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
That is an essay quote, spiritual intelligence quote.
Thank you. I think time is up, but yeah, quick one. Yes, please go ahead. Mike will come to you. There is a green button. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You were mentioning about how chanting of the holy name, there is no satiation. Like material happiness, we can experience a little and we become bored with it. Practically, though, when I can really appreciate this, that when we start chanting, especially in the company of devotees, I sometimes feel like I can keep on doing this.
Correct.
But we don't. I don't have that strength yet. After sometimes I even don't want to do anything else. I just want to chant and hear and all that. But after a while, I become. I don't have that strength. I become fatigued with it. So how do we pace ourselves to cultivate gradually? Because sometimes it's very inspiring. Oh, devotees are chanting 16 rounds, are doing so much service, but if I can't imitate and do that because after some time I'm not able to have that same eagerness, and it fades away because I don't have that practice yet. So even though it's so inspiring, how do I pace myself in such a way that I can gradually increase rather than do it for some time and then go away?
Thank you. So that is a part of it we address in the morning. They basically, when you're saying chanting, it's kirtanam, but kirtanam is preceded by shravanam. Shravanam and kirtanam go together. So if you are able to do shravanam, like during the rest of the day, for example, just hear from different lectures or read Bhagavad Gita. Like, for example, our community, we do chapter a day, one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. So reading chapter a day, listening from different acharyas. And so this Shravanam, when we allow that to enter in our hearts, then the next day you will see that your Kirtanam is better. So if we want to slowly improve, what we do is we give ourselves some continuous Shravanam. When we are continuously doing Shravanam, automatically our impetus for Kirtanam becomes better and better and better. So we can, if we can read, whichever way you like, maybe some like audible, audiobooks and things like that. So you have audiobooks, we can listen, or we can do chat, or we can read, listen from the other sources, or just listen to Kirtan, even that. So as and when Shravanam is happening, automatically Kirtanam will happen very nicely. So our taste and intensity for chanting will get better in that way. So Shravanam and Kirtanam goes together in always. Great. I hope that helps. Great. Thank you. It's too late. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ji ki jai. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Thank you all for joining us this session. We will have prasadam served shortly. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for joining for our Saturday morning program. We would like to offer our gratitude to our speaker by chanting 3 times, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And I just want to quickly announce that this is the last 2 days before we celebrate God Purnima on Monday. So this is our opportunity to share Chaitanya Charitamrit with the world. As we heard from Prabhu today, the glories of Siksastakam. So, Prabhu, could you show? Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is a book which is written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. It has 9 volumes. It has beautiful stories, and they can help us to focus in our japa. So please, if you want to sponsor or distribute these sets, you can join one of our teams, or you can just let us know. We can distribute on your behalf. Thank you so much for considering our request. Hare Krishna. Do we do the prayers now, Prabhu? The Prashadam prayers? Okay, we'll do the Prashadam Sevaya prayers before we honor Mahaprashadam. These prayers actually inform us what is the significance of honoring Krishna Prasad. The 3 problems that contaminate our heart, as Prabhu mentioned, were sense enjoyment, bhoga, and tyaga. And also it was anyabhilashita. So bhoga, the tongue is always looking to enjoy the food, as Prabhu was giving the example of rasmalai. But if that rasmalai is offered to Krishna, that same rasmalai can free us from that attachment. So that's why we chant these glories of Mahaprasad. So please, let's chant together. Sharira Vidyajal Jodendriya tahe kaal jibe phele bishaya sagore tar madhe jibhayati lobho moy sudurmati ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बोरो दोया मोय कोरी बारे जिह्वा जाय स्वप्रसादन दिलो भाई शेयन्नामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य नीताय प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य नीताय महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नाम ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यवतां राजन् विश्वासो नैव जायते प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो हि आशु बुद्धिपर्यावतिष्ठते तवयोपभुक्तस्रग्गन्धा वासोऽलङ्कारचर्चिता उच्छिष्टभोजिनो दासास्तव मायां जयेमहि शुष्कं पर्युष्यतं वापि नीतं वा दूरदेशता प्राप्तिमात्रेण भोक्तव्यं नात्र कालविचारणा न देशनियमस्तत्र न कालनियमस्तथा प्राप्तमन्नं धृतं शिष्टैर्भोक्तव्यं हरिरब्रवीत् Bhagavad Shri Mahaprasadam ki jai. Please come and take prasadam. Prasadam will be